Hi, everyone, to our active participants, supportive attendees, and knowledge seekers out there, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to all of you, and welcome to our 161st webinar with the theme Social Emotional Teaching and Learning Management, brought to you by Institute of Global Professionals. Thank you all for joining us in this wonderful evening. I am your host for this webinar, Angelica C. Sagitan from Metro Manila College, Quezon City, Philippines. I am so excited and proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I feel honored and privileged to host this webinar. It's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professional free webinar. Thank you all for joining us today in this marvelous evening. And it's my humble request and pleasure to all of you to please stay with us until the end. For I am sure you all will have many takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. Each time, please don't forget to like, comment in our webinar, and also tag, share to your community, and mention your friends in the comment box below. So let's watch together and learn together because we believe that power is gained by sharing knowledge, not for the sake of knowledge. Once again, I am Angelica C. Core Volunteer Member in IGP Philippines. Every day, some new participants join with us to give a little about IGP. IGP, or Institution of Global Professionals, serves students and community resource, providing holistic social work and education to create a proficient generation skill development we make it get it able to use for every knowledge seeker to originate personality, more ambitious, more confident to face any circumstances, and develop own skills. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skills just by acquiring formal education. So, we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We organize our webinars, trainings, offline and online courses, and other activities we have by the best and trained speakers, coaches from all around the world for us to create a best learning platform for you all. Our mission is to empower people and enhance their knowledge about the topics we are providing. We expect that you are all getting a little bit benefited in personal and, of course, professional life, and we wish that you all are remaining with us in long journey. Let me remind you again, please don't forget to like, share, tag, and mention your friends in the comment box below because your attachment encourages us to do better and best service to our lovely audience. Our mission is to empower our youth to stay with us by your support. I know we are all excited to learn many things tonight, and I am cordially welcoming you all in our 161st webinar on social emotional teaching and learning management. So let's start our program with IGP's mantra: feed your skills, innovation, inspire, and impact. start with, our first speaker is a global educator, a STEM instructor, and an ICT teacher trainer in Greece. She has a postgraduate degree in language teaching related to cognitive neurosciences, and she is also a passionate researcher on cognitive psychology, cognitive neurosciences, and neuroeducation. Currently, she is a STEM instructor at the Greek Astronomy and Space Company, and she is also working at the Greek Ministry of Education, at the Directorate of Educational Technology and Innovation, where she writes a STEAM projects for Greek schools. She has been awarded many national and international prizes, so far 75, and she is a Global Teacher Award 2020 from AKS Awards winner and a Global Teacher Prize finalist last 2019 at Varkey Foundation. Recently, she has been selected as Global Icon 2020, featured in Passion Vista magazine among the top 10 women entrepreneurs featured in Fortune, and among the 100 most successful women in business featured in an Amazon book by Global Trade Chamber. She promotes STEM vision by introducing STEM in astronomy and physics projects and combines STEM with language teaching. She is also the founder and international coordinator of many innovative international projects that focuses on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals described in the 2030 Agenda. She is also an author of scientific books for kids. Furthermore, she is a social activist, a global peace ambassador, and ambassador of the Ecumenical Delphic Union. She is also a part of the educational committee of the Ecumenical Delphic Union in collaboration with Harvard University. She has received 2 humanitarian awards and many peace awards from international humanitarian organizations. She is also an international executive member of Global Edu Leaders Forum, honorary ambassador of Charles Walker Society for Innovation and Research, education ambassador and member of the International Organization of Educators and Researchers, ambassador of the National Education Policy 2020 of India, international advisor of the South Asian Institute of Advanced Research and Development, Center for Peace and Advocacy and Sustainability Development, K to 12 Digest Magazine, International Youth Society, Global Peace Council, and a mentor of the 100 Mentor Platform. She is an editorial board member of many journals. She has presented her research in numerous international conferences and e-conferences, and she has published work in various journals. Wow, just wow. Those awards are all amazing, right? So without further ado, let us all welcome Ma'am Rania Lampo from Greece, and let us give her a virtual clap.
Good afternoon from Greece.
Good
Very
evening from
excited.
Philippines, Miss
and-
Rania.
I'm
Yes, we
excited
are
and
all
ready.
excited. Yes, of course, we are all excited to listen to you. So I think I'm not going to interrupt more. Let's get started, Miss Rania.
Mhm. Well, I'm very, very honored to be a part of this resourceful webinar. And the topic is quite interesting, I think. Today I will try to explore social-emotional learning in the teaching process, but I have decided to adopt a fresh new perspective today, a neuroscientific approach, because, as you mentioned, I'm a neuroeducation researcher, and I would like to initiate our audience to a fantastic world of cognitive neuroscience and neuroeducation. Especially during the pandemic, it's very important to get to know brain-based strategies. So let's start my presentation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm speaking, but I'm on mute. Okay, let's just
Is
give
it
a
visible
few
now?
seconds. I'm sorry, Mama Nia. Okay, while waiting, let me just greet our viewers from the different parts of our world. Good evening, watching from Pangasinan, Philippines. Okay. Good evening from Philippines again, Mark Christopher De Castro. Good evening. Carla Marayag from PHINMA University of Pangasinan. John Denmark Pamplona, watching from Victoria, Tarlac, Philippines. Okay, there's a lot of viewers from Philippines.
It's not visible yet.
It's still not visible, Mama Nia. Okay, Shang Queen watching from Taipei, Taiwan. Good evening. Yes, from Philippines, Mindanao, Philippines, Bohol, Philippines, New Era. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Now it's fine.
Yes, we can already see your presentation, Mama Nia.
Okay, okay. So I can start, right?
Yes.
So the study of emotions after years of neglect by mainstream biology and psychology has emerged as a central topic of scientific inquiry in the vibrant new discipline of affective neuroscience. So we formulate every day fundamental questions about the nature of emotion. What is the function of emotions? What is the role of the body in emotions? What are feelings and how do we relate to emotions? Why are emotions so difficult to control? So is there any emotional brain? We're talking about the science of emotion. Emotion has a substantial influence on the cognitive processes in humans, including perception, attention, learning, memory, reasoning, and problem solving. It has a particularly strong influence on attention, especially modulating the selectivity of attention as well as motivating action and behavior. Emotion also facilitates encoding and helps retrieval of information efficiently. So it's important to understand the effects of emotion on learning and memory and the functional roles played by various brain regions and their mutual interactions in relation to emotional processing. This knowledge may be useful for the design of effective educational curricula to provide a conducive learning environment for both traditional and live learning in classrooms or virtual learning through online-based educational technologies. So the human brain is actually a miracle. From the earliest days of life, the cells of the human brain are organizing themselves into networks that communicate with each other, store and process information, and learn new things. As teachers, we are part of this miracle. So what we do in the class, what we do, how we will have a direct influence on our pupils' brain. This is interesting to explore. So when it comes to emotions, it turns out that there are regions in the brain, especially in the limbic system, that are associated with each one of the six main emotions. Neuroimaging and positron emission tomography scanning and functional studies have shown that some emotions are more likely to be associated with different regions of limbic system activity than other emotions. And as we all know, emotions are complex. Psychologists say that we have six basic emotions, which are happiness, anger, fear, surprise, and disgust. So all of our other emotions are built from these six basic emotions. For example, jealousy stems from a combined feeling of anger or sadness, while satisfaction can be a type of happiness. So the limbic system is actually the center of emotions. It's a group of interconnected structures located deep and within our brain. It's the part of the brain that's responsible for behavioral and emotional responses. So far, we can see some regions that are have been discovered by scientists. Hypothalamus, it's what controls emotional responses. It is also involved in hormone release and regulation of body temperature. Hippocampus helps preserve and retrieve memories. It also plays a role in how we understand the spatial dimensions of our environment. Amygdala, very, very important because it helps coordinate responses to stimuli in our environment, especially those that trigger emotional response. The structure plays an important role in fear and danger. And thalamus, it's a sensory relay station where all the sensory information goes before being sent into other areas of the brain for processing, and the limbic cortex also. So, what is emotional style? What are the components? Emotional style is a consistent way of responding to the experience of our lives, and it is governed by specific identifiable brain circuits. It has a solid foundation in the brain, can be measured using objective laboratory methods. It can be traced to a specific characteristic brain signature, and it influences the likelihood of feeling particular emotion states and moods. So emotional styles can be considered as the atoms of our emotional lives, so fundamental building blocks. So emotional styles comprise six dimensions: resilience, outlook, social intuition, self-awareness, context, and tension dimensions. All these styles try to illuminate the vast diversity of ways to be human, emotional states, personality, and temperament. So, what is resilience? It's about actually how slowly, quickly we recover from adversity, from a difficult situation. Outlook, how long we are able to sustain a positive emotion. Are we able, or we have depression. Social intuition, how able we are picking up social signals for the people around us. Self-awareness, how well we can perceive bodily feelings that reflect emotions. And sensitivity to content, how good we are at regulating our emotional responses to take into account the context. Um, so, for instance, how all these emotional styles are related to personality traits. For example, someone who is open to new experiences has strong social intuition, is also very self-aware, tends to be focused in his attention style. Or a conscientious person has developed social intuition, a focused style of attention, and acute sensitivity to context. An agreeable person has a high attuned sensitivity to context and strong resilience. He also tends to maintain a positive outlook. So we can see how all these are related and how every individual personality temperament reflects a different combination of this dimension of emotional styles. Um, Another example, shyness and sociability are related, of course, to social intuition dimension. Emotionality is related to resilience in outlook. Adaptability reflects sensitivity to context. Impulsivity reflects to attention dimension. And when we are anxious, we're an anxious a combination of when we are slow to recover, so we have a negative outlook, and at the same time, we are not focused. And when we are chronically unhappy, it's a combination of being slow to recover and have a negative outlook. How are emotional styles developed? Are they genetically reformed? Yes, they are genetically, but the genetic basis, but if a genetic trait will be expressed or not, of course, depends on the environment in which the child grows up. So even genetically based characteristics can be dramatically modified by how our parents and teachers treat children by the experiences. And we all know about the plastic brain, neuroplasticity. That means that our emotion styles are not fixed because they are genetically based, as we said. They're not static and changing and changeable. Why? Because the brain has neuroplasticity, it's the property called neuroplasticity, the ability to change its structure and patterns of activity in significant ways, not only childhood, but also in adulthood and throughout life. And this, of course, is a result of experiences that we have throughout our life. So it's interesting to see the neurobiological basis of emotions, the brain basis of emotions. Very briefly, I can show you. First of all, we talked about socially intuitive brain. Here you can see that according to researchers, um, here you can see the lack of social intuition comes from low levels of activation. In here you can see the fusiform and high levels of activation in the amygdala. Someone with high levels of fusiform activation, low to moderate amygdala activity, is socially intuitive, highly attuned to social signals, and able to pick up even subtle cues. What about context-sensitive brain? The context-sensitive brain is the ability here. Comes from the hippocampus. The ability to distinguish a familiar from a familiar context. And we all know that hippocampus has a role to process memories, and it's also involved in regulating behavior inhibition in response to different contexts. What about the self-aware brain? Individuals with high levels of self-awareness have greater activation in the insula, while those with low levels of self-awareness have decreased activation. And the insula, we can see, receives signals for our organs and sinus organs. So we can say that it's the brain's monitoring station. We talked before about the outlook, the perspective, positive or negative perspective. And here you can see the region of the brain. In 1982, it was discovered that greater activity in the left prefrontal cortex underlies with greater activity in the right prefrontal cortex. underlies positive emotions, while greater activity in the right prefrontal cortex associated with negative emotions. And also, activity in the nucleus accumbens and prefrontal cortex underlies the ability to sustain positive emotions. The graded activity is there, the further toward the positive and the outlook dimension someone falls. Lower activity in this region underlies a negative outlook. And very important that this region, the nucleus accumbens, is more associated with feelings of pleasure, dopamine activity, which is associated with the motivational component of rewards that provoke strive and persistence. So people with higher left and right prefrontal activity feel a greater sense of well-being and contentment, while those who have higher right than left prefrontal activity are more likely to suffer from depression. Another important thing related to emotion is attention, our ability to focus. It's very difficult because we seem in a sea of constant stimuli. So our ability is actually a triumph because we need the capacity to focus attention through some mechanism. First of all, we can mention selective attention. That means the conscious decision to selectively focus on certain features of our environment and ignore others. This is a capacity to keep building block of other dimensions of emotional style. So, for example, just think you are the last time you were in a noisy restaurant engaged in conversation with a companion. So, in order to hear him, to hear your partner, you turned up the internal volume of the voice while simultaneously inhibiting sounds for surrounding tables. And even children have a capacity, infants actually have a capacity for selective attention, being able to focus on their mother's face and ignore distractions from other sources. So why emotion in learning is important? Because everything we learn is influenced and organized by emotions, states of minds. Feelings and thoughts shape each other and they cannot be separated. And new information, every new information that we give to our students arouses pleasure, when it arouses pleasure, it's more easily stored in long-term memory. And the flow of information is inhibited by fear and weakness, while positive emotions can affect reinforce certain types of learning. So our brain responds to positive suggestions. So students experience positive, negative emotions when we discover new knowledge. So this is why we're going to explain how a teacher should present new knowledge in a challenging way in order to provoke positive emotions. A teacher should provoke positive experiences, and because negative emotions will lead to a feeling of regression and demotion. A positive learning environment is also important, and each positive suggestion sends a message to the learner's brain. This is why. So when our brain learns, it reacts and adapts to its environment is changed. So learning a new element allows to transform the neural networks in order to assimilate the new knowledge. And through this process, the brain creates new neural connections throughout life. So we need a challenging creation of a challenging environment with engaging activity in order to create a stable sensory environment essential for brain growth. So what are some neuropedagogical bases of the learning process? Learning is a process that takes place in the brain and also is a transformation of existing cognitive structures or the creation of new cognitive structures. And what are, imagine that you have to prepare a lesson plan here. So we're going to start now. What are the steps if you have to prepare a learning plan? Before starting to teach a new concept, the teacher needs to capture the attention of students. So the best ways to learn are novelty, humor, and surprise. Why? Because our brain is always looking for something new, search for novelty. It is constantly looking for stimuli. So the system in the lower brain, known as the reticular activation system, filters out stimuli and decides what to pay attention to and what to ignore. And there are also neurons of novelty specialized in impressions. They cause a state of vigilance and they attract attention. So there is a need for the teacher to vary the stimulants and not only use the same images, the same sounds, etc. Introduction, remember, is the most important factor in enhancing learning. The first time students are exposed to a given flow of information plays an important role in their ability to retrieve information efficiently later. So staying focused depends on relevance and meaning. Remember this. Brain needs relevant and meaningful information. That's why we as teachers we need to be careful with relevant stimuli. The brain continuously tries to understand the world and define if information it receives is relevant and meaningful. And even if students understand what is being taught, if information is not relevant and not related to also to past experiences, it is likely that it is not be stored in the long-term memory. Um, it's also necessary, as I mentioned now, to use past experiences in order to connect information to prior existing information to create an experience with them. And also, here we can see that the learning process begins with the process of incorporating new sensory perception into those already stored in the student's memory. The second step is what we call acquisition. During classroom lessons, the students' brains, the inputs are picked up by the senses. The teacher takes care to guide and support the student in the process, and he tries to stimulate their senses by suggesting various examples, by reminding them experiences and memories. And so all the sensory factors, functions allow each individual to collect information from their external environment and their organism, so allow them to adapt to all environmental situations. Some information may be routed to other regions with what we call amygdala. Here, remember that I had said that is responsible for fear and anger. So if there is any threatening information, the amygdala is activated. And the brain receives information directly, for example, through a lesson plan or reading assignments, or indirectly by multimedia images. And of course, teachers should respect the learning profile of every student. So we can see so far that the limbic system is intervenes throughout the entire learning process because it stimulates the student to desire, to refuse, or to tolerate. The limbic system is the center of emotions and affectivity and a set of impulses and tendencies. It's linked to emotional reactions. The third step is what we call elaboration. The acquisition of new knowledge requires significant investment in terms of effort and perseverance on the part of the most competent students. The brain explores the subject by variety of explicit, such as reading or writing discussion, and implicit methods, such as role-playing simulations. And here, according to neuroscience, the mistake there is very important because it's considered as a bad connection, and learning from mistakes offers the opportunity to weaken bad connections in favor of more appropriate connections. It is therefore important to understand the reasons which led one to an error at the risk of reproducing it. And in addition, information processing and learning are time consuming. This is why progress must be made at a slow pace with breaks and pauses. During what we call downtime is allows brain to process new information. Teachers can offer review activities such as games or a lab activity, which will allow students to practice what they have learned, etc. Very important. Emotion is very interrelated with memory. Many new inputs, remember, are kept in the frontal lobe for short-term memory. Short-term memory stores information only for 5 to 20 seconds. So most of these inputs are filtered and then they are discarded without being remembered if they are deemed to be important or, as I said before, meaningless or not compelling. On the contrary, if the inputs are challenging and relevant, they are routed to the hippocampus and they are maintained there. And if also the new learning material is considered important, it's organized and indexed by the hippocampus and they're stored in the cortex. Um, So the relay station where information is processed before it is stored is well known as hippocampus. It's a structure which learns quickly but has a limited memory capacity. So what does hippocampus? It organizes, sorts, processes the incoming information before sending it to the different areas of the cortex for long-time memorization. So it plays a very important role. The more associations are created in the brain, the more likely it is that information will be encoded in long-term memory, and therefore they will be available for retrieval, for recall. When information is stored in long-term memory, something happens. New synaptic contacts appear, new neurons. The long-term effect of learning is therefore the stabilization of memory by the growth of new synaptic contacts in our brain. And also, according to neuroscientists, it's interesting to see that an ideal lesson is divided into three parts. Learners best memorize information that we present in the beginning of our lesson. And the information memorized second is that what we present at the end of the lesson, and learners rarely memorize information presented in the middle. Therefore, we understand that new information should be presented during the introduction and conclusion. Um, Also, there are some neuroscientists who discovered that the students, I think we all know that, forget 90% of what they have learned in class in 30 days. So these experts show that the majority of this forgetting occurs in the first hours after class. And this has been also confirmed in modern times with other studies. What happens is the neural pathway initially used to process new information can become a permanent route if the brain reuses the stored information. That's why we're talking about repetition. Repetition reinforces memory. Information requires repetition by students if we want them to be able to recover it. And there are several ways to improve memory. Of course, emotional intensity. If you use strong emotional stimuli, knowledge will be more easily absorbed. The quality and quantity of associations created in the brain, prior learning and motivation, repetition, revision, all these are ways to improve memory. Another step is functional integration. Learning actually requires neurons to activate together to create relationships so that information can be recalled and applied in different situations. So building relationships with what a student already knows and engaging emotions can help promote long-term learning. Frequent review, as said before, helps to ensure retention and recall. Repetition is very, very important and includes solidity of synaptic patterns, acceleration information flow, and solidity of connections. And it's another concept very important in neuroeducation that we need to remember as teachers is that what we call synaptic pruning. This means that what we call the brain deteriorates only when it is not used. New connections between neural networks can be established or strengthened, but they can also weaken and disappear if they are not practiced. And also, another important thing is that during school activities, students should be directed towards what we call the upper regions of the brain, which contain the higher order thinking. Because higher order thinking increases understanding and retention. Brain imagery show that how we can elaborate repetition involving higher order cognitive abilities, how we can involve the frontal lobe of the brain, because this helps learners to make connections between new and old learning, to create new pathways, to strengthen existing pathways, and to increase the possibility of consolidation and storage for future recovery. Recently, when the COVID pandemic started, actually in April 2020, I wrote a very successful article. It had a great impact all over the world. It had 1 million readers. You can find it, it's free, it's on the National Magazine, and also it's in a paper which was published in Greek University. And there, it's actually actually, I propose a guide. It's a guide to educators about how to cope with the COVID pandemic using brain-based strategies, strategies that are compatible with learning. And why? Because according to research, many children during the COVID pandemic suffer from many mental health disorders, traumatic stress, post-traumatic stress, anxiety, and many other problems. So how we can, how brain-based strategies can actually help us. First of all, it's important to create positive emotions because COVID crisis took an emotional toll on children. It is crucial to create positive emotions, and this suggestion has a universal significance. It's not only restricted to coronavirus pandemic. The role of emotional learning, as I said before, is very important. And make learning pleasant. We all know that online learning, for instance, distance learning is boring for children. So it's up to us to find ways to make our learning more pleasant. So because learning is reinforced by challenge and inhibited by break. Challenge activities could increase attention and improve memorization. And human brain learns optimally. Learns optimally means that it creates more synapses when it is intrinsically motivated. Intrinsic motivation is also necessary for students' creativity. And in this way, students will get the knowledge more understandable and enjoyable, and will be mobilized and they can achieve higher goals. Very, very important. Why social skills? Because neuroeducation says that our brain is social. That means that our brain evolves and learns through interaction and experiences with others. We need others to interact. So during the period of the social distancing, we're talking about social distancing, but this is only physical. It shouldn't lead to isolation. So as teachers, we should place emphasis, even during remote learning, on how students can develop empathy, solidarity, and altruism. We have many collaborative platforms that we can leverage, many forums, many chats, in order to help our students to foster interaction, peer-to-peer support. And very, very important also how to encourage our students to develop self-awareness, self-regulation, self-management. It's interesting during the COVID pandemic, for instance, to encourage them to express their feelings about their experiences and their feelings about the COVID pandemic, because this has a cathartic role. It's something that liberates soul. And remember that our brain needs security. We need to create a safe environment. And arts are very also important for another reason, because according to neuroeducation, when we learn something new, as I said before, a new concept, we have the creation of new connections. Art helps us to see a new topic through different point of views. That means that arts help us create in our brain more neural connections. So we need arts to integrate in our lessons according to neuroscience, especially in primary education. Of course, we need to adopt an appropriate methodology. And what is this? Is what fits best to our students, to their rhythm, to their needs, to their interests. So the what is called cell. Maybe this is the topic of another presentation. I'm going to present this briefly. Is social emotional learning skills, which contain some components such as self-awareness. As I said before, maintaining a level of self-awareness is a cornerstone of social emotional learning, allowing students to access a greater understanding of how positive actions lead to improved self-image, self-management, and the social awareness. Centering, it's about how to deal with others. It's a golden rule of treating others. And relationship skills. Need to empower students to develop relationships by providing them, for instance, strategies for conflict resolution and decision making. And why this cell? What is because why I say it's important? Because it provides a positive foundation upon which students can learn about themselves and others in a safe, naturally school environment. And also, life skills can help students pursue further higher education, achieving career goals, develop better relationships with family and friends, by centralizing the happiness and well-being. This kind of learning offers an approach to education that values autonomy, allows them to grow in healthy environments, to create fulfilled adults, to improve their mental and physical health. And what actually how to implement it's interesting to see how we can leverage these strategies in order to teach empathy, teach students to manage their feelings, identify their own concepts. And according to research, what were the outcomes of self-implementation that did help to reduce bullying? If we apply in our classroom, this could lead to a reduction of bullying, suspensions, absenteeism, to improve improve performance in literacy, in math scores, family bonding, etc. So it's here I want the same experience as a STEM instructor. STEM instructors usually have a scientific background, and I can see that all around the world, STEM instructors that underestimated at first the importance of social learning because they have a more mathematical brain. They realize the importance of degrees, and when they actually integrate social emotional learning, they realize the amazing results that they had when they teach the science to their students. So this was my perspective today. And if you have any questions, we can explain me later. And another time we could do more about social emotional learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Rania Lafu, for that very wonderful explanation and presentation for us. And I would just like to highlight the part of of your topic that really strikes me earlier is the part when you say that all the situation, the people who surrounds us really affects on how our emotions really develop. And also the part wherein you say about the process of memorization of a child, it is very important nowadays, most especially for the teachers, because like what we have right now, the pandemic, it is important for the teachers to know the needs for them to be able to fulfill the academic and emotional needs of their students. Thank you so much for that very amazing, and thank you for enlightening us with your pearls of wisdom, of course, Maria. Thank you for contributing your knowledge to us and giving us your precious time. Your knowledge will be effective for our audiences. Most especially to me, I really love the topic because you shared your insight about the social awareness and learning management. No doubt our viewers will be benefited today, of course, by the awareness they receive from your presentation. Okay, so you can rest for a
Thank you.
while, Mama Maria. Thank you so much. Okay, so before we proceed with our second speaker, let me remind you again and again and again to please don't forget to like, share, tag, and mention to your friends and to your whole community in the comment box because your attachment encourages us to do better and best service to our lovely audiences. Okay, so let me introduce to you our second speaker. Our second speaker is an assistant professor of special education in the Department of Teacher Training and Non-Formal Education, He is also a faculty of education at Hamilya Millia Islamia, a central university in New Delhi, India. He is the registered professional in Rehabilitation Council of India, a versatile, dedicated, and professionally competent educator with a master's in special education and certified practitioner from Rehabilitation Council of India. He has vast experiences in identification of students with special needs, assessment and evolving appropriate remedial measures. He is a professional who is flexible and accommodating in the design and implementation of inspiring hands-on lessons, employing wide-ranging manipulatives and IEPs to enhance student achievement. He is skilled in addressing student needs, ensuring children will thrive and develop in an adaptable educational atmosphere. He uses firm behavioral management, possessing excellent interpersonal and communication skills to develop an excellent rapport with all members of the school community. His areas of proficiency includes multidisciplinary educational plans, technology integration, team teaching approach, curriculum development, individualized educational plan, individualized educational plan, and having 7 years of experience in the field of education in different positions. He has done many master's degrees in various disciplines. He has been also selected in many government jobs, has worked in many government organizations, and has been participated in more than 100 seminars, in-service trainings, and training workshops during his job period in different organizations. He has won many prizes in sports and co-curricular activities. Wow, that was very cool. Aside from academic, he also excels in sports and co-curricular activities. So without further ado, let us all welcome Mr. Maud Jubair from India. Let us give him a virtual clap.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am. Thank you.
hi, Sir Zubair.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing. I'm doing well. Great.
Okay, that's good to hear. And also, we are all excited to listen and watch your presentation for today, sir. So, whenever you're ready, let's get started.
Yeah, yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready. When you permit me, I will start.
Okay, you can start now.
Thanks for providing me the opportunity. So, firstly, I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, so while waiting for the presentation of Sir Zuber, let us just, okay, I think Sir Zuber is ready.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is clearly visible now.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, thanks to IGP platform for providing me the opportunity. I am Mohammed Zubair. Uh, I today my topic is importance of social and emotional development. What is the importance? So, as we know, we all are human beings, and when we get birth, for example, so all the development starts, and from birth to death, all the development will be taken place in our lives, and we learn a lot from our environment. You can say from experience, from exposure, from family. So there are lots of things we learn in our life from birth to death. So, what is emotional aspect? A process of learning to recognize and express feelings and establish a unique personal identity. Because every individual is different, and as our previous speaker said, that in our brain there are lots of organs are responsible, lots of chemicals which are responsible for our emotions. So from the birth, our emotion starts, and we are social human being So a process of learning to show self-expression and how to interact with others, because the first school of a child is his or her mother, and he learns a lot from mother, from family, from society. So these are the important thing. Now, what is the result of emotional, what is the result what we can say? So healthy emotional development helps a child become a self-confident, because if a if a child is emotionally strong, so he can be self-confident, his motivation level will be high, and he can handle stress, cope up with other negative aspects in his or her life, and his feelings will be positive. Similarly, if a child is very interactive, for example, he is interacting with his parents or friends, or interacting in the society or community, so he learn a lot, because from the environment he learn a lot. Influences, what are the influences for emotional and social aspects? So emotional aspects, a child's individuality and temperament, because as we know, we as a human being, we all are different. um, uh, we have individual differences in our intellectual abilities, in our social abilities, in our emotional abilities. We all are different. So a child's individuality is totally depends which kind of emotions he or she develops. Some students have positive or negative. Everybody have positive and negative emotions, like love, joy, and sometimes negative for fear, anger, jealous. But it all depends upon the individual person. So how can we control our emotions? How can we manage our emotions? Type of care received, for example, which type of care we are receiving in the school, in the university, in the college, at the home, and which kind of atmosphere we are, where we are living. So social development influences action of parents and caregivers, because parents are important part of our life, and the caregivers, because they teach a lot to us. And type of care we receive, and atmosphere of the environment, because if you are living in the separate family or nuclear family, the social development will be lack in but if a child is living and interacting many peoples, the rate of learning will increase. So what are the interferences in emotional aspects? Bitterness and mistrust in the infants, for example, in the infancy period, in the childhood, sometimes we feel some negative things, bitterness or mistrust. So these are the things. Sometimes we feel lack of love, or lack of, you can say, care, or lack of attention from the colleagues, from the teacher, from the parents, in the society. So these are the things in which some people feel sad, or you can say they feel some sort of negative things, anger, jealous, guilt. Imitation, we learn a lot by imitation in our life. So infants in during the infancy period, as all the researches says, that we learn a lot by imitation. So infants catch the tone of adults moods and respond what he is watching, or observing in his family. So he accept all those things. Similarly, in the social aspects, he you know he imitate the relationship of parents, and which kind of bonding their parents have to one another, which kind of bonding they have with other persons in the society. So they copy all those things. uh, Crying, muscle tension, smiling, cooing, wiggling of the body. These are the emotional development you can observe. Similarly, responding to the voice. For example, if your mother is calling to his son, so he responds, enjoying being picked up, responding to cuddling, smiling. So these are the things we can observe. So at the very initial level, when we talk about the infant kid, so emotional starts from the birth, because sometimes he feel hunger, he feel body ache or stomach ache, sometimes lack of attention. So these are the things. So he feels, so he uh, shows different things, because his motor actions are the language, because according to the Piaget cognitive theory, 0 to 2 years age, the the motor actions are the the real language of the kid. So socially, similarly, in the social aspects, newborn improve their social interaction with their mother, with their all those who are caring them, caregivers. In 3 months they learn a lot. Sometimes he can smiles and laughter slowly, and he can cooing sounds to catch attention. So these are things you can observe in childs, in the kids. So in the 3 to 6 months, sometimes you will see some students, some kids, only when babies feel loved and security, because now they can feel security and show excitement when caregivers or parents appear and distress when they leave. And in the social aspect, begin to recognize and trust which is the main person or which is not the main person around his or him. 6 to 10 months, he develops more and more anger, sadness, and happiness he feels in that age. And similarly, because when he watch someone stranger, he feel anxiety or try to express their fear, and so on. It will it will go on and go on. So these are the things we were talking about, the emotional and the social aspects of a kid. So as a teacher, it's because I teach students, so as a teacher it's my duty to observe the emotion of and social aspects of our kids, because if they are emotionally and socially strong, they can manage all the things uh, in their lives, in all respect of their lives. Emotions you can observe by some hug, kiss, cuddle, rock, smile, and comforting voice. You can observe, keep up with attachment objects, so these are things. So encourage, and we also can encourage our students, because as a teacher, it's our duty to engage our students, because in grouping, or we can say uh, in cooperative learning, in team teaching, we have to use all the things in the class. So role of emotions are: play helps children learn to express emotions, and play helps children learn to interact with adults and other children. So there are lots of competencies which will be developed in kids by the help of emotions and social development. Perseverance, responsible decision making, job readiness, relationship skills, bonding, executive functioning, interpersonal skills, collaboration, critical thinking, all aspects of cognitive, like attention, perception, problem solving, memory, active listening, these language. So what is social and emotional learning is all about? So it is all about, so it is the way that students and adults, or you can say the kids, practice the knowledge, attitude, and skills necessary, which are necessary in their lives. Because if you are emotionally and socially strong, you can understand and manage the emotions. Because sometimes we are not in good mood, sometimes we are in pleasure, we are feeling good, we are feeling happiness in our lives, but sometimes vice versa. So set and achieve positive goals, and feel and show empathy for other appropriate persons. So establish and maintain positive relationship among others, make responsible decisions, and make positive relationship within the family or outside the family, and identify and regulate emotions. How can we regulate? So these are the successive stages of the growth of emotions in a particular age, which cause the internal and social adaptation. Because adaptation is the important thing in our lives. We have to adjust in every circumstances, because as a teacher we have to enhance our student skills, aptitude, and we have to encourage them, and we have to develop their adaptation skills. So emotional development builds individual features adapting to social life, because every time uh, uh, you want to get a good environment. Sometimes sometimes in your life you will feel some ups and downs. So shapes a feature that is an in this pensable, indispensable element of the development of the human being. Uh, when we are emotionally, sometimes, as I told you, some positive emotions, some negative emotions, fear, anger, jealousy, grief, or curiosity are the negative. Sometimes our heartbeat, when physical responses, our brain responses in physical manner, our heart rate will increase, our breathing will increase, and hormone level, our face will be reddish. So behavioral display of the emotion also, because your body language, and you can say eye hand coordination will be changed, the body language will be changed, and feeling will be changed. You will be selective in what you think, because selective attention will be start. So thoughts and judgments also matters, and actions and signals. So, as children, social and emotional health affects overall development of a person, because all the research indicates that if a person is emotionally strong, if a person can regulate his emotions, he can, so he can get positive result in all other aspects, in education, in his family life, in other lives, so it's in his school life, because uh, have a more positive attitude he will develop because he is socially interactive, because he is interacting with friends, with colleagues, with teachers. So he will learn, because he will get some sort of experience and exposure in the class. So teachers can promote children's social and emotional health in many ways. For example, by organizing a material rich environment, we can provide such environment where we can provide them opportunities to interact with other students according to their caliber, according to their level, according to their interest, according to their strength. So this will be definitely, this will make trust and good bonding with others, with teachers, with students, with colleagues. Teachers and caregivers, promote children's social and emotional health by establishing trusting relationship. Because when we make a good bonding with our teachers or with our students, the rate of learning will increase, because he will not fear to express his views in front of others. So in that manner, teacher can intentionally enhance these skills in them. So these are the things we can do in our classes on the regular basis. So why social and emotional skills important? These are the important because social emotional skills penetrate the daily lives of our children. Because as I told you, all developments are interrelated. If socially a person is socially disturbed or emotionally disturbed, the other aspects of development will be disturbed. In his memory will be disturbed. He physically he will not feel well, so many things will be changed in his life. So children who have stronger social skills can find effective ways to navigate interpersonal situations. So as a teacher or as a human being, we have to make a good relationship with our students, and we have to increase the self-esteem, and we have to reinforce them. We have to boost up them in all walks of life, because every individual is different, every individual have their own skills. Because you can't say that this student is much intelligent than the others. Every individual have their own potential. So emotional health is considered a cornerstone of one's overall well-being. So when children become aware of their emotions, so as a human being we have to observe how to control our emotions, because children develop social emotional skills in the context of their relationships. How can we make good relationship with others, with family members, and culture. In our culture we learn a lot, because we live in different cultures, in different social background. We come from different social backgrounds in diverse societies. So we have to learn lots of things. Family priorities also matters in social emotional competencies, because as we know, parents are the key. They play vital role in the development of social and emotional aspects. Make so teach our kids that make friends and keep friendship with good kids. Because if they will make good friends in the society, in the school, they will learn a lot. They will exchange their culture, they will exchange their views, they will exchange their languages. So they will gain confidence, and they will resolve the conflicts, because many, they are very keen, they are very curious, they have lots of questions in their minds, so they will get the answers. So manage stress and anxiety, because they will talk to others, and they will manage stress anxiety, because their brain will be relaxed. And learn social norms, because in every society the norms are different, and values comes from society, and because we learn values, so we have to teach them the values also, and make appropriate decision. We have to make them good citizen. They can take good appropriate decision in their lives, which decision is good or which decision is bad for them. So these are the things we can do in our life. Learn strength. Every students have positives and negatives. So observe your students before the teaching, during the teaching, and after the teaching. Observe their strengths and weaknesses, and according to them we have to apply, we have to manage the emotional and social aspects. Gain awareness. So what can you do help your child social emotional development? Be a model, because teacher is a role model, parents are also role model. Be responsive. They are very curious, they ask many questions to you, so don't angry on them. Try always try to reply them and satisfy them. Ask open-ended questions to them. Use stories and different situations in front of them. Encourage kids and motivate them, and and engage them in many sports and activities, in co-curricular activities, dance, music, sports, pantomime, mono acting. There are lots of activities we can do in our classes, according to their, according to the need, or you can say the skills the child have. So ask your child questions, sit, engage them in group, and group work is also a positive thing. Be affectionate and nurturing, hold, comfort, talk, and sing with your baby, toddler, and child. And because show comfort, talk a lot with them, and you help your baby experience joy, give and take relationships by playing games like peekaboo, any game you can play. Provide your toddler with responsive care, support your child, in all aspects of life, and these are the things you can do. So self-awareness is the, self-awareness is also important, because it is the ability to recognize your emotions, because as a human being, it's my duty to recognize my emotions, which kind of emotions I have. May I control my emotions or not? I am weaker or I am stronger in those. So thoughts and behavior, self-management is the another thing, ability to regulate emotions. How can we control the emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in our daily life? So we have to use these things in, we have to apply these things on our students. Social awareness is the ability to take others perspective, what other things, what others demonstrate. Relationship also matters in our life, because a good bonding also play a vital role. Bonding with parents, with colleagues, with friends, with teachers, responsible decision making, because as a human being we have to choose a good behavior and interact with in a positive manner. So be a good emotional role model. So be an emotional coach, accept and talk about children's emotions, and it is also useful to teach children how to label emotions, cope with, and problem solve. So positive social and emotional development is important, because this development influences a child's self-confidence, empathy, the ability to develop meaningful and lasting friendship and partnerships, and a sense of importance in their lives, because parents and caregivers, play a vital role. So what are the benefits? Benefits are that they will get good, better academic performances in their lives. They will improve in their attitudes and behaviors, and less negative behaviors they will go through, and reduce emotional. They will reduce emotional stress as well. So create an environment that promotes a positive sense of well-being, and such environment where they can feel better, and prioritize communication, give them opportunity to talk, practice self-care, and provide consistency, and listen to concerns. Always listen their concerns, their talks, talk to them, their feelings, their thoughts. Support students in maintaining a good relationship. So these are the things you can do. Regularly collect feedback from your students and families, provide choice for check-in opportunities, and invite students and families on the regular basis in parents teacher meeting. Sometimes in school you can organize, or you can talk to their parents, consider the needs. You can evaluate before the management, during the management, and after the management. You have to change your uh, techniques as well. So academic, what does high quality instruction look like? Because if a person is emotionally strong, so he will perform well in the academics, in the classroom discussions. And if he is socially interacting with others, so then the result will be very good. How do we create a positive emotional tone in the classroom of our students? So, student centered discipline you have to apply in your life, and teacher language must be good. Because if you make a good connection, you should not angry on your students. You have to make a good relationship, good rapport among them. And responsibility and choices, you have to be responsible. You should know your duties and your support, and use good teaching styles, strategies, and approaches in the class: cooperative learning, role playing, classroom discussions. Because the rate of learning will be increased. Self assessment and self reflection, balanced instructions you can use. So these are the things, multisensory approach we have to use in the class, by which we can engage them. So then improve climate. When we will improve the environment and climate, the learning environment, we will improve the teaching model. We will select good teaching model. Then the result will be positive. The rate of learning will be increased, and they will feel better in emotional and socially. They will feel better, and they perform well in all aspects, and they will perform better. So being self-aware and self so emotion, social and emotional learning is the process for helping children and adults develop the fundamental skills of life effectiveness, and through which children and adults enhance their ability to integrate thinking, feeling, and behaving. And it is a, you can say, it is a framework for preventing behavioral issues, and we can handle ourselves, our relationships with others, and we can create, or we can engage them in our environment. So how does your school and your own classroom feel to all the stakeholders of the community? Because there are many stakeholders out there. So as a parent or as a teacher, you have to provide such environment. You have to provide them the multisensory approach, the auditory learning, the visual learning, tactile learning, or you can say kinesthetic learning. You have to provide them good environment, labs, playground, lunchroom, classrooms, uh, infrastructure, benefit infrastructure. Everything must be there in the school, and they will feel better. And social and emotional learning, learning environment, and positive. When you give instructions, or you can say acquisition, positive social behavior is important for teacher. And there are lots of problems students are faced, because everybody is is different in their approach. Everybody have their own negative and positives. Some, everybody won't be doctor, or everybody won't be musician. So according to their abilities, some students are very strong in their emotional aspects, but some others are not. So we have to make such efforts. So calm down, think before you think a lot about solutions in the class. Think about the consequences, and how can we manage according to the needs. And school, family play, community play vital role. And academically, we have desired goals we have to achieve in health, in social relationship, in engaged citizen. We have made them good independent citizens. We may have to make them good citizens in the society. Recognize their emotions, values, strengths, and limitations. Make them ethical, good. Teach them etiquettes, values. Make them positive framework. Teach them how to deal with others, and teach them understanding and empathy for others, and manage emotions. How can we manage in different situations, in different things. safe and well managed, and respect and supportive and high expectations are the important things we can say. So, you know, so these are the this is the target of a teacher of of how can we change the positive social behavior of our kids, and how can they manage their emotions. Eh, and they will definitely get academic success, they will get the cognitive success, they will get the affective success, they will take participate in all activities. So their attitude will be changed, motivation will be developed, commitment will becomes in their lives, and participation will be increased, and their subject, and they will perform well, and they will get mastery over all the things. So these are the things we can do in our class. So implement these things in curriculum as well, because curriculum play vital role, because in curriculum we have to include the affective domain as well, because according to psychologists, we have to work on cognitive aspects, intellectual abilities, on the affective aspects. Emotionally we have to make our students emotionally strong, and the psychomotor, they have to take participate, they have to make role play in the society. So teach, and you have to select good teaching materials, teaching styles, learning styles, strategies in the class, and support services, etc. And co-curricular activities play a vital role in the class, in the family. So you have to use all those things. Leadership qualities will be developed in the students when they will uh, they will interact with others. Leadership qualities will be developed, their self motivation will be developed, their hesitation will be removed, and their confidence level will be increased. So relationship is the important thing, it means, so that emotions affect how and what we learn, and relevant skills can be taught. So these are the things. Academic performances are important, but on the other hand, health and the emotional strongness and the social aspects are also important in our lives. They also play a vital role, because we have to make a good citizen, we have to make them good citizen. So 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 now I would like to say that the ability to recognize, express, and manage feelings at the different stages of life are the emotions. And socially, we are social human beings, and we have to, you know, interact with others, and we have to make our students. We have to develop our students. We have to enhance the qualities of our students, and we have to fill the gap of our students. According to Vygotsky, there is a gap between the current potential of the highest potential of the student, and we have to fill that gap by scaffolding. So, as a teacher, it's our duty to observe the negative and positive aspects of our students, and we have to work on them according to the needs. So, this is my lecture is all about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that very wonderful presentation for us, Sir Joubert. And of course, just like earlier, I also got some details that really struck me the most is when you say that we must know how to control our emotions, even though we have different cultures, different beliefs, different backgrounds. Uh, you also mentioned earlier that this is the reason why do we need to learn more about the emotional development and social development for us to be able to communicate properly and socialize properly with proper emotions, of course, to our colleagues, family, and friends. And you also mentioned earlier about if I'm not mistaken, about the self awareness, our ability to recognize our emotions, to understand our emotions. We must be the one to recognize and understand that before others understand and recognize also our emotions. So Thank you again so much,
It's
Sir
my pleasure.
Zubair, for that very knowledgeable and very fruitful presentations for us. I was reading the comments, and they all, some of them are saying that this is a very useful and important input for educators, just like our viewers, of course.
Thank you. Thank
So
you for the
that is
viewers.
so
Thank you.
good. Yes. Thank you for your marvelous presentation and
It's
giving
my
us your
pleasure.
valuable time. It is our pleasure also to listen to your presentation. This session will be effective for our audiences because you shared your intelligible knowledge with us. Thank you again, Sir Zubair, and see you later. Okay,
Thank
so before moving on to our third speaker, which is our last speaker, once again, I want to remind you all to please support us with your share, like, tag, comment, and mention your friends in the comment section below. We will give the e-certificate link in the comment box below. And if you will face any problem, you can collect e-certificates direct from our website, which is www.eduigp.com. And after collecting your e-certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP by checking in. Okay, now to proceed, let me call and welcome our third and last speaker, Ma'am Marina Karitonashvili from Georgia. Let us give her a virtual clap.
Hello again, my dear colleagues, my dear friends, my dear audience. It's a great honor for me to participate in this webinar, and I want to thank a lot of thanks to IGP Institute. And first of all, I will introduce myself. Okay, I'm Marina Kharitonashvili from Georgia. I hope that all of you know the location of my country. It's located between Europe and Asia, between Black Sea and Caspian Sea, and I'm a teacher of geography. And I have 24 years experience of my teaching life. And I have a master degree in geography, and also I have a PhD degree in computer science. I have a winner in a lot of international conferences. For example, 5 years ago, I was chosen as the best teacher, and I was traveling in Western European countries, in Tallinn, Tartu, in Estonia. Then I was chosen also as the best geography teacher, and I was attended to train and to express my experience in Austria, in Vienna. And especially some months ago, about 2 or 3 months ago, I was participated in a great project. Maybe you have heard about Best Global Teacher Award. And you see, in my country, in Georgia, we conducted the same competition. And I was chosen as the best teacher, and now I'm a nominee, and I'm from the 10 best winner as the best teacher in Georgia. It's also a great honor for me, and I'm very proud that all my students, all my parents, and all my friends who knows me are glad for this, my success, and so on. And also, I'm a Diamond Challenge virtual judge, and every year I will judge a lot of students. Also, I'm a peer manager at school. I always try to think about emotions of my students to improve not only my knowledge, especially I think about the knowledge of my students, and I participate and have very close relations with United Nations, with European Union, and you see, in my country, we pay attention. About sustainable development goals, and I hope that it's no new, not so unimportant for you. And as in globe, the 17 main problem, very active, and beginning from the 2015 we have worked at this project about the sustainable development goals, and every year we try to choose and think about one of this problem and try to solve inside the borders of our country and so on. And especially emotional learning, it's very important. As I mentioned, I'm a teacher. I'm not psychologist, and I'm not, for example, scientist like my colleagues from Greece and Zuber from India. Yes, but for teachers, you see, emotional relations and emotional importance. It's very necessary because we have to think about every student personally, about their attitudes, for example, how we can think about their relations, about their knowledge, and so on. And because of it, today I want to speak, and now I'll try to share my presentation. And I will talk today also. Okay, wait. Well, well, and as we know today, we speak about social emotional teaching and learning management. But what's happened at school? Yes, solution of social and emotional problems in the classroom. It's also very important. But first of all, let's talk. What does it mean, social and emotional learnings? And during my presentation, I always mention this abbreviation CEL. Yes. Social and emotional learnings is an integral part of education and human development. CEL is the process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationship, and make responsible and guarding decisions. CELS advances educational equity and excellence through authentic school, family, community partnership to establish learning environments and experiences that future trusting to collaborative relationships, rigorous and meaningful curriculum and instructions, and ongoing evaluation. CEL can help address various forms of inequity and empower young people and adults to co-create thriving schools and contribute to safe, healthy, and just communities. And now, how educators can approach CEL, yes, as teachers, lecturers, and so on. While CEL is not a design subject like history, math, or geography, or another subject, for example, in my opinion, it have to be, for example, conducted at school like a subject, yes, because it's so also very important, and it can be moved into a fabric of school's curriculum. And when educators make academic lessons more personal and relatable to students, students may be more inclining to participate and may be less likely to mentally check out during their subjects. And by fostering a sense of empathy, self-awareness, and feeling of safety and inclusiveness in the classroom, a self can have a positive impact than a lasting lifetime. And there are several different approaches to sales. And some teachers have a more formally designed portion of the school they devoted to sales, sometimes taught in a homeroom. But these lessons become a recurring theme throughout the rest of the school day to help make to core competencies of sales more real to students. And teachers may want to have students journal or write about their thoughts and feelings on a particular cell lessons, or even have young students partners with an older, for example, body classroom to help students across different age level bond or find common ground. And other teachers work cell related lessons into the more formal subject like also math, history, doesn't matter, or reading. For instance, examples of cell in action can include assigning a group of projects where students self-delegate roles to work together for the good of the group, role playing as historical figures to understand the rationale behind the personal actions, or for students to conduct formal interviews with one another to take a pulse check on current events. Teachers can also work with the students to set goals in areas where they may need improvement and help chart their progress, giving them a measurable way to show their achievement and feel a sense of accomplishment. And today I want to talk about the benefits of self. Cell is helpful of both children and adults, increasing self-awareness, academic achievement, and positive behaviors both in out of the classroom. And on a more individual level, the skills learned within and cell program have been shown to help students better cope with emotional stress, solve problems, and avoid peer pressure to engage in harmful activities. For example, we have the improved attitudes and behaviors, for example, better academic performance, or less negative behaviors, reduce emotional stress, and so on. And learning positive behaviors that extend beyond a purely academic level of achievement can help these students develop the soft skills required of many jobs, such as teamwork and ability to understand others and problem solving. And this can help set the students up for success throughout their school years and beyond. And now you can pay attention. Benefits of cell includes increasing optimism, confidence, empathy, and independence. Also, positive social behaviors between family and peers, decreased emotional distress and anxiety, and improved test scores, grades, and attendance. And now I want to mention 5 social emotional learning components. First, it's self-awareness, and my colleagues mentioned this 5, but I want to tell about more deeply. Students learn to understand their own strengths and weakness, but it's not only students even way, yes, because all of us have such strengths and weak sides, yes, and will see their behaviors influence on other people. It's like a mirror effect, yes. And an example of this in practice would be coaching in a simulation session where students would recognize how certain action may affect others so that they can learn how to perceive their own feelings as well as what other people may be feeling. For example, 4 main facts of self-awareness, it's a wisdom, identity, reputation, and also brand. Second one, it's a self-management, of course, and students learn to regulate their own emotions and behaviors, which includes processes like stress and time management, motivation, academic or some even personal goal setting, all extremely important for when children grow and need to manage their own schedules and business. And by pairing students together in a mentor or mentee relationship, the mentee will learn about essential academic skills and building self-esteem and confidence, while the mentor will share skills they have learned from experience and guide the mentee through common issues like imposter syndrome and, for example, insecurity. Next, it's a social awareness. Okay, students learn to understand social behaviors, norms, recognize other people's emotions, and emphasize with people of all different backgrounds and culture, as also were mentioned. Yes, and example of activities strengthening the skills would be introduction and inclusive activities that involve participants sharing their favorite hobbies, fun facts about themselves, and etc. And next, it's relationship skills. And students learn how to foster healthy relationship and clear communication with other individuals and also in groups. And this can be practiced by participating in a variety of activities, such as, for example, team sports, games, group projects, and so on. And important skills like active listening, team building, and, for example, maybe conflict resolution are used here, which are essential inside and outside the classroom. And the last one, it's a responsible decision making. Well, and in this situation, students learn how to make their own independence choice, whether it be about personal or academic, when it comes to behavior and speech. By taking into the consideration social norms and differences, potential consequences, and safety concerns, students will be able to make respectful and well thought out decision. A way to actively practice responsible decision making is to solve a qualitative problems in a variety of ways to understand different methods and ways of thinking. And now I want to talk about challenges and solution of these emotional problems in classroom. First challenge, it's a lack of communication and honest conversation, and how can we solve it? And solution is self-establishes and common language and develops communication skills. A strong social emotional learning program should help school communities develop a common language to learn on when discussing emotions, challenges, and conflicts. A common language help us navigate difficult conversation and hold on another accountable in less threatening way. And when we can talk about our emotions and resolve conflicts successfully, we improve our ability to work together. Next challenge, it's a lack of understanding, and solution is self builds and stress and empathy. Social emotions learning gives us an opportunity to better understand one another. Cell offers opportunity for authentic connection between students, staff, and school leaders. Its school communities begin to share personal experiences with one another, and we begin to better understand what our colleagues, peers, and friends are so on and carrying with them each day. And communities begin to recognize that we all have challenges we are working through, as well as moments of pride to celebrate, and seeing similarities and differences between one another develops empathy, cultivating stronger community, and contributes to supportive school culture. And the next challenge is a lack of collaboration. And how can we solve it? And solution is that cell helps individuals work together in diverse groups. Social emotional learning builds and strengthens key communications, collaboration, and leadership skills that helps students and adults successfully work together in groups environment. And more importantly, CEL helps our communities recognize differences, respect diversity, and develop empathy for one another. And this means that individuals will be able to successfully navigate working relationship with people that might have differing opinions, viewpoints, or beliefs. And when all team members are able to work together. Regardless of their differences, the social community will be able to work together more cohesively. And next challenge is a lack of purpose and solution that cell creates time and space for authentic connection. Social emotional learning helps students and teachers develop self-awareness, recognize trends, and creates goals for the future. And the CEL program should give time for self-reflection for students and adults to identify their passion and create goals to help them fulfill their purpose. And by giving students and adults time to authentically connect with themselves, we help them establish a stronger sense of purpose. And by giving them time to authentically connect with one another, we give them the opportunity to support each other and create a shared vision for forward progress. And the next challenge is a lack of support. And solution will be maybe CEL provides a universal support for all and helps teachers identify students who need additional support more proactively. A universal social emotional learning program ensures that all students receive foundational CEL support. Over time, CEL and the mental health supports have limited within the Type 2 or 3 branches of the MTSS model, and students identified based on academic or behavior concern received intervention. And research have proven that all students need benefits from CEL, any kinds of student. It doesn't matter of their mental level. And by providing time and space for students and teachers to check in with themselves and with one another, teachers can more proactively identify students who might be in a need for Type 2 or 3 support. And additionally, students and adults will get more comfortable recognizing their emotions and stressors, identifying when they need help, and asking for the support as they need it. And by providing universal support, we ensure all students are seen, heard, and supported. And the next challenge, it's a lack of risk-taking. And what will be solution? A CEL encourages risk-taking and help individuals work past fears of failure. Mistakes create opportunities for learning. In order for our students to grow and develop, we must encourage them to take risk. In order for our schools to improve, we must empower our adults to take risk as well. Social emotional learning helps individuals work past their fear of failure by developing a growth mindset, emotional management strategies, and goal setting skills. And when school community members have the skills to feel comfortable and confident to take risk, a school culture that supports growth and development will be continue to blossom. And you see, even me and even you, no one any person who will live without mistakes, and we also have to improve our knowledge due to our mistakes. And next challenge is a lack of supportive relationship. And maybe solution it's a CEL builds stronger and deeper relationship. And at its core, social emotional learning is all about relationships. The relationship we'll have with ourselves and the relationships we have with those around us. And all these mentions of self-core competencies directly contribute to the development of a healthy interpersonal or interpersonal relationship. And self-awareness and self-management directly impact our relationship with ourselves. And as students, as adults, develop these skills, they will be better able to maintain authentic relationships as they'll form more meaningful relationships with one another. The cultural and in school will only continue to improve. And by opening at the time in the space to authentically connected with one another, understand one another challenges and supported each other, and we deepen the relationship across our school communities. And now I want to mention that in my practice, I use a lot of time and I spend a lot of time in formal education. For example, I want to talk about my ecotouristic club. I'm a leader and a head leader of the ecotouristic club. And you see, it was very strange when in this informal situation, a lot of children can express their emotions and their emotional learning from another side. Because, for example, at school, when they think that maybe some teachers can be more strict, you see, they are very shrink and they are afraid to expand their emotions, to expand and share their skills, their knowledge, and so on. And in this informal situation, you will be like their friend, and they always their students try to share and express their real emotions, for example, like interpersonal students. And in this situation, it's always the good way to help such kind of student, and always for example, in the evening, I can talk with my students on the social media, private, if they have some problem. We can discuss like friends, and always they look to your eyes. They are very, very happy, and they always say a lot of words to thank that we can take them. In any side is it does not matter they will receive, for example, high marks. It does not matter how it will be their IQ. Yes, I always think about their EQ, about their emotional intelligence, because in this way, this emotional intelligence, this EQ, it's also connected with the social emotional learnings. And I will think how can improve their abilities, their expression, their, for example, three emotions and so on. And because of it, for teachers to get all students personally, it's very important. And I want to say that every teacher, it's like a parent, yes, because we spend a lot of time, more than 11 or 12 years, yes, all their childhood, all their teenager age, and so on with our students. And you see, our future of our generation, it depends on us. And because we have to know the psychological sides on a high level to help all kinds of students. And also, I want to say that 2 years ago, Ministry of Education chosen me as one of the best friendly emotional teacher, and they invite me to TV. And I also conduct a lesson on the Central Forest broadcast TV in Georgia. And you see, it's very maybe not so difficult, but you have to think how to conduct this lesson, that it will be more emotional, effective, and all kinds of students have to like this lesson. And you see, I'm very proud that I'm a teacher, because I like my students. I always try to help them. I always think about their social emotional sides. And now I want to say a lot of thanks also to my friends to inviting me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much for that very uh, wonderful and super presentation, of course, from Mom Marina from Georgia. Uh, the line that you have mentioned earlier that really struck me the most is when you say that every person makes mistakes, but that doesn't mean that we need to stop learning to develop our social and emotional mistakes. Our mistakes, we can use it to become. We can use it as our guide and our basis to become a better person, not only from the past but also from the present and the future, of course. And also, Ma'am Marina, I would just like to commend and appreciate the way how you explained your presentation today. It feels like just I'm in a classroom and you're my professor in front of me discussing every details of the lesson. That really gives me your professor vibes. I really feel it right now. So thank you so much, Ma'am Marina, for that very wonderful presentation.
Thank you. Thank you for
Okay,
invitation.
you're welcome. What a lovely and super presentation given to us by our last speaker. I believe you two guys are able to get beautiful insights on her topic and that you all got the important takeaways. Of course, that is a very important part why we are attending this webinar, of course. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time and sharing your knowledge with us today. And now I can say that we are really empowered and we are really aware of all the information that we need to know, of course. Let us now empower our minds by joining our quiz competition. So, everyone, let's get ready because it's quiz time. All right. Okay, so thank you to our active participants. We now have 137 participants in our quiz brought to you by Institute of Global Professionals. Thank you so much, Anmar G.E. Servino, Ira L. Punzalan, Melinda C. Raposa, Carmela B. Haen, Julieta Ico, Zaira M. Racusa, Jonna Carnate. I love to call all your names, but I can't because we already have 164 participants. Wow, that's very quick. Ashok Kumar, hello. Edzam Hiya, Neil Celestino Lial, Andrew Dixon Comba, Emily Refugo, okay, Clarita Codon, Emily Refugo, Reina Deruel. Okay, so I am encouraging everyone to please join our quiz competition. Let us all empower our minds together with this quiz brought to you by IGP. We now have 164 participants. Okay, everyone, anyone can join the quiz. Just go to the www.slido.com and the code is given on the screen and the link is in the comment box below. Silvana Friendly, hello. We already have 113 participants. Welcome to the quiz. Rosette Pignol, Julie Larano, Karen Rubisil, Jocelyn Pandan, Jennifer Levantino, Janice Nidoy, Kamal Ait Haji, Wilhelmina. Welcome everyone. Welcome to our quiz competition. Heidi Liza Ganot. Okay, for those who don't know where to find the link is in the comment box and the code is on the screen. Micah Hesa, hello. Celsius C. Huachon, Ayunita Tatiana. We now have 238 participants. Wow. Evangeline, hello. Severino, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Okay, so I think it's time for us to start. So the first question is, an example of social emotional teaching would be, first, a teacher assigning group work roles during group work. The second is a teacher telling a student to stop doing something. You still have 5 seconds to answer. I hope everyone can get the correct answer in this question. Okay, so what's the correct answer? Let's see. Okay, so the correct answer is the first one, which 94% got the correct answer. A teacher assigning group work roles during group work. Okay. So our congratulations, John Carlo. Okay, so our second question is, social emotional learning has overlapping principles with making student thinking visible, universal design for learning, positive behavior interventions and supports, all of these choices. Still have 5 seconds to answer. Okay. 2%, 0, 8%, 90%. Let's see what's the correct answer. So the correct answer is the last one, all of these choices, and 90% got the correct answer. Okay, the third one is, what are two of the five social and emotional learning competencies? Self-awareness and goal setting, empathy and responsible decision making, self-awareness and social awareness. You still have 5 seconds to answer this question. Okay, 13, 26, and 61%. So the correct answer is the last one, the self-awareness and social awareness, which has 61%. Okay, the fourth question is, what is not taught to students through the social emotional learning or the SEL system? First is linguistic skills, or the second one, self-management. Still have 7 seconds to answer. Some are answering on the comment section. Okay. So the correct answer is linguistic skills, the first one, which got 68%. Wow. Okay, let's proceed on the next one. Okay, the fifth question is, emotional and social development are similar because early signs of both. First is exactly the same from one adult to another. The second choices is tend to be similar from one infant to another. Still have 5 seconds to answer. Some people are answering on the comment section. Thank you so much for participating. 49% and 51%. Okay, so the correct answer is the second one, tend to be similar from one infant to another, which got 51% from the participants. Okay. Let's now proceed on our next question. Which of the following difficulties do children with social emotional challenges experience? Physical aggression, development of internalizing behaviors, difficulty connecting with a teacher, or all of the above? Still have 5 seconds to answer. Okay, time's up. 22096. Okay, so 96% of the participants got the correct answer, which is the last one. All of the above. Okay, the seventh question. What is a learning disability? First, a neurological disability that makes it harder for you to learn new things. The second one is fear of success in school. You still have 5 seconds to answer this question. Okay, so let's see what's the correct answer. Okay, so 89% got the correct answer, which is the first choice. Okay, so we are now on the eighth question. Social awareness is the ability to establish and maintain healthy relationships with others, successfully regulate one's emotion, thoughts and behaviors, or take the perspective of and empathize with others? You still have 5 seconds to answer. Okay, so let's see what's the correct answer. The correct answer is the last one. 16% of our participants got the correct answer. Okay, let's now proceed on the next question. This is our ninth question. The self-management competency involves impulse control, goal setting, organizational skills, and last, all of the above. Okay, still have 7 seconds to answer. You can also put your answers on the comment section below for those who didn't able to join on the link. Wow. Okay, so the correct answer is the last one, all of the above. So 96% of the participants got the correct answer. Let's now proceed on our 10th and last question. Which app could benefit a student with a learning disability? Talking calculator, alternate keyboard, or both? Still have 6 seconds to answer. Okay, so the correct answer is both talking calculator and alternate keyboard, which 93% of the participants got it. So congratulations, Elias A. Austria, for being the number one on our quiz competition. Congratulations to all the top 10 winners of this webinar's quiz competition. Okay, so Elias A. Austria, yeah. That's the names of those who got on the top 10 on tonight's quiz competition. Okay, so thank you all for feeding your skills by joining our quiz in today's webinar. Okay. Congratulations everyone. Congratulations to the top 10. Okay. Elias A. Austria, R. Vinino Viray, Locardo Magdaraog. Okay. So while we are waiting, okay. So we are now on our question and answer part of today's webinar. So everyone, you can type your questions for our speakers in the comment section below, and please don't forget to address whom speaker is your question. Anyone can type their questions and just address to whom speaker is your question. Okay. Okay. Okay, so while we are waiting for the questions, let me just read some of the comments on the comment section. Thank you so much to all the speakers for giving and sharing their knowledge. Okay, so the first question is from Emma Tampoco Sarza, and she addressed this question to all of the speakers. In your own opinion, what is the most effective way in managing diversity of learning? So let's start first with our first speaker, which is Miss Renia.
Well, okay. Diversity is a phenomenon that we face practically in every class. In Greece, we have a lot this phenomenon of multicultural and multilingual classes. So it's a phenomenon that's a real challenge for teachers. Actually, what the key word is respect. Respect of different backgrounds, of different experiences, of different feelings of students. And our lesson plans should be based on what we call differential learning, individualized, personalized teaching. I mean that when we design our curriculum, our lesson plan, we should always have in mind that each one of the children class has its own learning profile. Maybe one is visual, auditory, or something else that I mentioned before. It's very important to learn about this. First of all, we have to start with a diagnosis, a test, in order to see what are the differences of our students. So to have a clear image of what we have to deal with. And then we have to address with differential content which is addressed to all students the same way. So you need to differentiate your activities according to the level, to their performances, to their background, etc. So this is my opinion.
Thank you so much, Mom Rania. How
Differentiation.
about Sir Zubair?
Thank you for asking the question. Actually, as we know, as a teacher, when we teach in our class, so some students are high achievers, some students are low achievers. So every student have their own needs and pace. So individual differences are there. So as a teacher, when we are teaching the diverse class, where different sort of students are there, so get to know your students. Need-based education, we have to give them need-based education because every student is unique for me. Maintain consistent communication with him, use multisensory approach in the class, and practice cultural sensitivity as well because they come from different backgrounds. So practice cultural sensitivity, or you can say social sensitivity in the class, and incorporate diversity in the lesson plan as well. And always think that many students come from different languages as well. So teach the lessons in their local language as well. Give students recommend flexibility in the class. Use accommodations in the class. For example, if a student is not a uh, visual learner, so you can use that text in the audio form and provide him in the another way. If a child is not able to see the blackboard, so you can arrange their bench in the higher rows. So accommodation is also important. So we can, as a teacher, we have to use
Okay, so I think Sir Zubair is having his technical difficulties right now. Let's proceed first to Mom Marina. Let's get back to Sir
Yes, okay.
Zubair's question.
It's very interesting question, and you see, it's not so easy to manage diversity. You see, because as we know, there are three kinds of person, especially at school. We have divided students between visuals, audios, and kinesthetics. Yes, and we have to know and we have to understand what kind of students are they, and we have to individually express and to use different and very interesting activities. Yes, and then we have to, for example, to get the aim and reach success, we have to get from the students, and it depends on the activity of teacher, first of all, because it, you say, to teach students, it's very difficult. I think that it's one of the a difficult profession as doctors and psychologists and so on, because we have to care about emotional intelligence of our students, and we have to know, first of all, the difference of their level, and we have to work maybe with our students very often individually. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much,
Hello.
Ma'am Marina, for
My
that.
due to network issues, I left. I replied. Have you listened or not?
You can
Hello.
repeat your answer
Yeah,
further.
I can repeat. As I
Yeah.
told, as I was told earlier, that every individual is unique in the class, and as a teacher, it's my duty to observe the strength and weaknesses of my kids. So because every student have their own pace of learning. If I am teaching different method, if someone is learning by using that method. For example, I am teaching by demonstration method, but he is not still learning. He is not a visual learner. He is auditory learner. So I can use many accommodations in the class. I can use text into the audio form. I can use many different things in the class, different teaching styles, different methods. So as a teacher, we have to assess our students before the teaching, during the teaching, and after teaching, and we have to take feedback as well. So this is my answer. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much to our three speakers. And thank you also so much to Miss Emma Tampoco Sarza for asking that question. So the second question is from Arlinda Nituda Ramasola. To all speakers again, what is the best way to manage emotional and social stress during this pandemic in order to deliver the best learning to our students? Okay, let's go first with Ma'am Rania.
Can you hear me?
Ma'am Rania.
Can you hear me? Yes.
We
Okay,
can hear
can I
you now.
answer this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, as I mentioned before, I wrote an article about this in the National Magazine because we know how children suffer during this period from serious mental health disorders. And the real challenge here for educators actually is not how to deal with online learning. The majority of teachers know how to handle a learning platform. This is not the problem. The problem is how to handle our children's health disorders. So what I mentioned before is what I've been thinking. First of all is to create positive emotions, because I said that emotion is interrelated with thoughts, and so we need strong emotional stimuli and encourage our students for self-expression. I mean, they needed to share their expressions, their feelings, their experiences about COVID pandemic. And here, in the means of expression, we can mention also the role of arts. You can see how around the world they organize competitions, artistic competitions on the topic of the COVID pandemic. It's not accidental. Arts are a very important role here. And what I said before is how it's important to make learning of this stress situation. In the brain, there is a pleasure center, or what we call reward center, which tends to design the repetition of the stimulus or experience that causes pleasure. So every pleasant piece of information can release, according to neuroeducation, what we call dopamine, a neurotransmitter that causes feelings of euphoria in the brain, with the production of endorphins, and activates the limbic system that I said before is the center of emotions. And so this way, learning becomes more enjoyable and positively reinforced with inner motivation. So what I think it's make learning pleasant, and use multisensory process, because this involves all the senses, multiple treatments, and this promotes the development of the entire cortex of the brain, not only one region. Learning, not forget, it's a holistic process. we should not care only about knowledge, transfer of knowledge, but also be there for our students, support them morally, educationally, and psychologically. Um, and because each hemisphere of the brain collaborates. So we need actually both analytical and the abstract brain, the creative brain. This is my opinion.
Thank you so much, Ma'am
Of,
Rania.
and of
And
course,
how
intellectual
about for
capacity is the
Zubair?
You know, during the pandemic, we face a lot of difficulties. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, educators have faced unique challenges and tremendous pressure because in our country, for example, I'm living here in India. It's a uh, developing country, and every people don't have their resources. They have lost their jobs. They don't have internet connections. They don't have many peoples don't have, you can say, the devices to use it. And during the pandemic, students face a lot because they have lost their family members. They have many members were ill in their family, and they were watching all time the news, and they were seeing the scenario of the hospitals, what is going on in the there. So, as a teacher, how can we manage these things? Because emotional intelligence is the ability of a person to perceive and control and evaluate emotions. We were talking about the emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence, we have to make our students emotional intelligence strong by using many things in the class. And we have to provide such environment where we have to motivate them, we have to reinforce them, and we have to provide such environment where they can interact with their family members. They can spend some quality time with their families, with their colleagues. They have, because we have to make some good bondage with the family members of the society, because during the pandemic many negative aspects are there. So we have to refresh their minds, and we have to divert the negative things from their lives and provide such sort of education which is very interesting, and which is joyful environment we have to make in the classes. And during the online or offline mode, sometimes we can organize some quizzes, some games, some other things in our classes. So these are the things we can use in our classes and in teaching.
Thank you so much for your answer, Sir Zubair. And let's now go with Ma'am Marina.
You see, even I will talk from my personal practice. And you see, during this pandemic, we occurred around the challenges, not only teachers, all of the world, you see. And even me, I don't know how to conduct interesting lesson and how, for example, to be good teacher for all kinds of students, because it's really stress. For example, for my students, I very often ask them, "Oh my God, please, camera, I want to see your eyes because I don't know what are you doing behind the screen and so on." And you see, one day I thinking, "Oh my God, what I have to do?" And I go to the roof of my house. It's a nine-storied house, yes, really. And I ask to my daughter, shoot the video, and I conduct a lesson, 10-minute lesson from the roof of my house. Then I sharing this lesson to my students, and you see their wide expanded eyes, and it was so expressive. Then I asked them that you can do any kind of experiment, not the same like me on the roof of the high building, but I was more kind and not strict. And I asked them, you have to do, what do you want? What will be more, for example, more good and more prevailing for you, and so on. And it's such kind, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, they will shoot some interesting movies, especially connected with this lesson and so on. And for example, such kind of methods help them to pass such kind of stresses, to see it at home, and and to see only the screen and so on. And especially I try to be always very interactive to help my students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Marina, for that answer. Thank you so much to our three speakers. Okay. So the third question is from Ma'am Lenny Salustiano. To moms and sir, how can the behavior of one's child can affect and how we will solve it when we found out that the learners is indifferent emotionally? So let's go first with Ma'am Rania.
Emotionally. I think that this question has to do with diversity, like the first one, if I'm
Um,
read it properly. Okay, what it is indifferent. Okay, okay.
mhm.
This is what we call when we have students that are not interesting or they have other personal or family problems. This is a real challenge for us. The first one is to talk personal with them, to have an honest discussion, and this has to come from a heart. And maybe if we can discuss, we can encourage children to open up, or maybe if he wants to discuss his problems. And as I said before, we needed to create a secure environment. I mean, that we need to reassure him that we are next to him, that we're beside him, that we will support him, that we will give him the best possible way to further this his performance. And what about this? If he still remains indifferent, then maybe we have to discuss with parents, because family is the first environment that's responsible for children's behavior. And it's very important. So if all our solutions are failed, this way we have to discuss also with parents or a counselor, school counselor also. Teachers many times need the support of counselors. But the first one is to offer to provide students with emotional stimuli that could, could remove this barrier between his indifference and uh, the, the difference and the excitement of other students. This is what I think.
Thank you so much,
First of all,
Ma'am
we should
Rania.
use emotional
How
stimuli.
about Sir Zubair?
Uh, you know, assessment. We are talking about the assessment process in behavior. Every student have their own behavior in the class. Some are very, showing indifferent behavior in the class. They are not showing the normal behavior. So first of all, as a teacher in my class, when I observe these kind of things for a long time, it may be temporary sometimes if they have some problems in their families or some health issues. Sometimes they are not showing their good behavior, but it's when it goes for a long way. So we have to assess them. We have to assess their behavior in psychologically manner. There are lots of behavioral tests and checklists are there. We can use those checklists and assessment tests we can use on them, and we can you know study about their we can study about the group test or the single test, individual test in the class, or the case history. We can observe their case history, their behaviors in the house or in the school. What is the difference with their when he is meeting with their friends, when he is going to their house, when he is in the school? What is the basic differences? How he share their feelings with others or not? Is any fear or any sort of problem he or she has? So many observation records we can collect, and on the basis of action research, we can conduct the action research on that on his behavior. So we can definitely we can make some hypotheses and we can test those hypotheses and we will get some solution for it.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Sir Zubair. How about let's hear from Marina?
You say yes, especially in class, always we have students with different behaviors. It will be not only one, maybe two or three or more. And as we know, in curriculum, we have such kind of stages and levels where we can talk to the students after lessons, not during this lesson, because you know that during this process we have such kind of time that speak to each students individually. And in informal situation, we will try to speak about it, why this person, this student is indifferent emotionally, what's happened, and we will try to help especially him and to solve this problem, but in formal time after lessons. And we use
Thank,
especially different activities to help him.
thank you so much, Ma'am Marina. Okay, so for the next question is from Dindin Soles. To all speakers again, what can you suggest or best thing to do to deal with learners who still have tantrums, like age of 7 to 8 years old? Let's hear first from Ma'am Rania.
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe I can't answer because I teach only students more than 12 years.
Okay, that's noted, Ma'am Marina. It's okay. So let's just hear from Ma'am Rania. I mean,
This what we're talking about. Well, this is this. It's about children who are actually, as I said before, may have or family problems or personal issues, or and this applies the same category that we need to talk with him, with this child, and make him maybe confide in us some, if he wants, of course, some important aspects, some feelings, some thoughts to share with us, because as you know, sharing is very liberating. Of course, I'm not support punishment. I think that punishment in this case it's not correct. But always will try conversation, honest collaboration, and we should ask him for his collaboration. And of course, here we need the work of parents in order to find out what is the real reason behind this case of tantrum. Uh, we need to know the reasons, and after this, we can plan accordingly our behavior and our lesson plans according to their behavior and see if there is a progress or anything else. But again, here, school counselors and parents are important in this case. Okay, as I can assume multiple roles here. They should be psychologs, so we should be advisors, we should be mentors, guides, anything. But we are not specialists, so we need, of course, the help of specialists.
okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Rania, for that. How about let's hear from Sir Zubair?
You know, tantrums comes in all shapes and sizes. They can students sometimes can involve a spectacular explosion of anger, frustration in the class. Disorganized behavior means tantrums, and tantrums are very common. Basically, very common in small children. But sometimes tantrums in older we observe tantrums in older children as well. So temperament, stress, situation, different situations. So we have to identify the problem. For example, I deal in learning disabilities. So many students shows this kind of things there. So impulsive behavior, or they are showing different behavior in front of others. So how can we handle manage these tantrums when they happen? So stay calm, take a moment of yourself. You need to firstly develop a strategy for tantrums. Firstly, as a teacher, you have to develop a strategy. How can you deal with it? Have a clear plan for how you will handle a tantrum in whatever situation you are in. Concentrate on your putting plan into action when the tantrum happens in the class, and accept that you can control your child's emotion or behavior directly. You need some sort of help from psychologist or the sometimes you have to take some support from mentors, and you can only keep you have to take multidisciplinary approach in the school. Different teachers, or you can say psychologists from different backgrounds will come and they will observe the problem area, and accept that it takes time for change to happen. Your child has a lot of growing up to do before tantrums are gone forever. So beware of thinking that your child is doing it on purpose or it's trying to upset you. Children don't have tantrums deliberately. They are stuck in a bad habit, or just don't have the skills right now to cope up with the situation. So keep your sense of humor, but don't laugh at the tantrum. And if you do, it might reward your child with attention, and it might also upset your child even more if they think you are laughing at them. So you can take the help from the counselors or the neuro counselors, or you can say psychology, psychiatrist. Many people can help them.
Um, Sorry, if I can, I will add. You see, in spite of that, I don't work with 7, 8 years old. You see, in any different ages, all students have different kinds of tantrum, and especially as you said, we have a psychologist in all class, and they are professionals, and they are works such with such kind of problem with tantrum in different ages. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much to our three speakers. Okay, so do we still have questions for our speakers? Okay, so we still have another one. To all the speakers, how can we deal effectively with emotionally and socially challenged learners? Okay, so let's go first with Ma'am Rania.
Okay, emotionally, socially challenged learners, that means that they are engaged in learning. Something like this is the question. Okay. Um, is this the question? If we have emotionally, socially challenged learners, that if these learners are engaged in learning,
Question is that, ma'am,
or the opposite.
many students are there in the class. They are emotionally and socially disturbed, and they are socially challenged. And how can we deal with those students in the class, those who have emotionally and socially problems?
Challenge means that they face personal challenges, you mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Emotionally and socially challenges like autism, ASD students, for example,
Okay,
autism
is
spectrum.
what we said before. It's we need to focus on the social aspect of our learning, emotional aspect of our learning with these children. Maybe we should do an individualized session with them, as I said before, and try to realize the reason. This is the most important thing. When you realize the real problems that children have, the real challenge they face, then you can have more understanding and you can try to develop them empathy, of course, through challenging activities, as I said before. Of course, this takes time, it's very time consuming and a real challenge for teachers, especially during the COVID pandemic and remote learning. It's very difficult to cope with these children who face challenge emotionally, who actually the crisis exacerbated all these cases of children who had previously um, psychological problems. And we need to, of course, as I said before, real and in order to have positive experience and teaching enthusiastically, make sure everyone in the class feels comfortable, that everyone understands, make them understand that we care about him, about the learning of each learner separately, that we care about his problem, that we are ready to hear his problems. And in this case, I think that we can be more efficient. Of course, as I said before, with parents and psychologists, the same case.
Thank you so much for that, Ma'am Rania. And let's now hear from Sir Zubair.
Yeah, for example, ASD, autism spectrum disorder students. Autism is a disability, and many students are socially and emotionally disturbed there. They are not interacting with others. They are doing repetition actions, and they are living alone. Similarly, many other students in the class, they can do these things in the class. They are very less participating in all the activities. So ensure your daily routine involves combination of small groups. We can make small groups in the class and large groups in the class. And cooperative learning and peer tutoring will help in social interaction and emotionally. They will develop emotional and aspects of the kids. Teacher will be able to develop, because when we make some groups, the students will not fear. They will not face fear, or they will feel better with their colleagues. They will express their views in front of them. So provide a consistent classroom schedule, so children can establish routines that involve positive social interactions. Routines can also prevent occurrence of challenging behavior as well, and implement activities in the class, role play, or encourage cooperative learning in the class, such as cooperative use toys, dramatic plays, joyful learning, board games, and model positive behavior and relationship between teacher and parent, and teacher and student, and teacher and staff. And ask parents to get involved in teaching social emotional skills at home by modeling positive behavior, building a trusting relationship with their children, with their kids, and offering positive encouragement. So when a child is experiencing negative emotions, give them the opportunity to express his or her feeling. Help them understand that these emotions are a normal part of life. So provide them opportunity to participate in the activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Sir Zubair. And now let's proceed with Ma'am Marina.
Yes, you see, it will be better, especially on the lesson, to use such kind of different group activities where this side of emotional high emotional students can express and work together with for a little bit calm students and so on. And in this case, maybe they control more better express your emotions, to think about their own self-awareness and so on. And especially we have to control the situation in this group work. Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering all of the questions from our viewers. Uh, to our all speakers, thank you so much. You three made a big impact in our lives through this webinar. Once again, thank you, Ma'am Rania, Sir Zubair, and Ma'am Marina. We hope to see you again, our dearest speakers, in the next more seminars brought to us by IGP. And we are so pleased to meet you all. Thank you so much for being with us. Okay, and now we're done with the question and answer. I hope that you are all enlightened by our speaker's answer. And now we will proceed with the announcement. Double bonus. From September, we will arrange free international webinars on weekends, Sunday and morning sessions, 9:30 a.m. BST from September 1st, 3 hours morning session. Okay, so Certificate code must from July 12 to 2020 be available on video session certificate. Without certificate code, no one can use our certificate. Video will be able always on our Facebook page, website, and YouTube channel. To learn, anyone can join us on live sessions or later recorded sessions. We don't have any restrictions for learning. Our only focus is learn anything you want, but learning is a must. The beautiful the beautiful thing about learning is nobody can take it away from you. This is from DNBK. Okay, another announcement is for the first time, IGP will launch a virtual award ceremony program. Just visit our website www.eduigp.com. This is coming soon. Another one is on the 15th of September, we will publish our Android apps. You can learn everything from that application also. Just visit our website www.eduigp.com. We will launch quiz competition tab with 200 plus quiz on our website with certificates for all. Anyone can join at any time. This is on the 15th of September. Just visit our website www.eduigp.com. From August 7, you will get class material in every webinar description box on our website. There is also the YouTube program link and the webinar material. Just like on the picture that was flashed on the screen. Okay, so are you interested in 1 year international diploma program certificate for free? Just submit. The submission link is on the description below. So what you have to do is you have to collect all certificates from our website from August 15, 2020 to August 10, 2021. There are a total of 130 certificates. Please collect all the certificates from our website, which is www.eduigp.com. The submission link can be found on the description. Happy announcement, which is an offer from IGP in celebration of the anniversary of IGP. This is for all our participants. For an international diploma certificate, every GOVT has some rules, like you must learn 250 hours. That's why we decided to collect our certificates from you, which can ensure that you are capable of international diploma certificate. We know that our all programs are now 3 hours, but for a judgment, we will calculate our program on average 2 hours or a total of 130 certificates to submit, a total of 260 hours. So 2 hours multiplied to 130 certificates. You are applicable for IGP International Diploma Certificate. Okay, so all the certificates links are now available on our Facebook pinned post or top post. Just visit our Facebook page, Institute of Global Profession. What you have to do, collect all the certificates from our website from August 15, 2020 to August 10, 2021. Submit all the certificates into given link with your full name, profession, designation, and country. Last date of submission is extended until August 30, 2021. Okay, so the submission link is now available on the comment box. You can also take a screenshot on the one that you can see on your screen if you can find it on the comment box. Globally accredited country, we are looking for some volunteers. We are looking for IGP Global volunteers. For host position, we still have 10 slots left. Please contact us directly on our Facebook page inbox or on our WhatsApp +8801 843046324. For those who are interested, just please contact this. And we also looking for a quiz maker. Left. Feel free to contact us directly on our Facebook page info and our WhatsApp. Another one is contributor. There are 9 slots left. Just contact us directly on our Facebook page. We have a special surprise for you all on September 5. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Certification process, step by step. So this is the step by step process. So August 25, that today's program name is Social Emotional Teaching and Learning Management. This is the step one. Okay, so for the step two, here is the certification link. Certification link is now available in comment box and pinned comment. Certification link will be available always in this program, posted on our Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube description. Okay, you can claim your certificate in 2 ways. Direct link from comment box, pinned comment, post description, or if you're not able to click this link, please directly browse our website www.eduigp.com for all information together. Find today's program, then the process are the same. You can always visit IGP's website, which is www.eduigp.com. We can find all the information there. Okay, so step 3, browse www.eduigp.com or given link. You will redirect in this page of our website, which you can see on the screen now. Click Enroll Now, which is on the right part or the right side of your screen. Okay, so if you are new, create your account. So here is the way on how. If you have an account, then log in directly. After that, find the seminar title and get enrolled. Okay. The certification code for today's program is IGP 2222. Okay, so without code, no one is eligible for the certificate. So please take down this uh, code or you can take a screenshot. With code, you can claim your certificates anytime. This is a code required, so just please make sure that you've got this code. Okay, so step 5, with code, click Get Your Certificate, which you can find on the right part of your screen. And then just put the code required, which is IGP 2222, and then click Get Your Certificate. Okay, our free international webinar certificate is also downloadable in PDF file. So check your device file manager. Sometimes it looks uncompleted, which is for your mobile screen size. In PDF file, everything is okay. If nothing is found in your file manager, please check your browser setting or update your browser, or you can try with another browser, or try it from another laptop or desktop. Okay, so this is what the certificate looks like. Okay, so you can join our online programs from our Facebook page, Facebook group, YouTube channel, and our website. If anyone missed any program due to some unavoidable issues, still you can attend previous webinar with verified certificate. Dear participants, if any problem raised to claim your certificate or any other issues, please don't be hesitate to contact us. If now our website isn't working well, don't be panic. It's issue of traffic cause of maximum user. With code, you can claim your certificates anytime, so you don't need to worry. As long as you have the code, you can still claim your certificate. Okay, our core team members are always ready and confident to support you to find solutions. Team customer service representative for our Facebook page, uh, Miss Janet Cablao and Miss Cherise Abejo. Cabios. Okay. For our FB group, Miss Cherilyn Yamaguchi, Sir Jonas Malingin, and Sir Alonso Warren Cariaga. And for our YouTube channel, Sir Kelvin Linatok, Sir Joel Danaog, and Sir Jeffrey Sayag. Okay, our next webinar for tomorrow, August 26, 2021, is about self-empowerment for young professionals with the two speakers, Miss Joy Faith B. Coronado and Miss Arnie B. Balbontin, both from Philippines. Also, an upcoming webinar on August 27, 2021 is all about thriving for success. We have four speakers, Dr. Ella Ford, Dr. Vita, Adaw B, and Miss Vanessa Jacqueline Cruz. On August 28, 2021, our topic is about significant and dynamic trends in education, and we have two speakers, both from Thailand. On August 29, 2021, we have also an upcoming webinar with the theme Principles of Leading Change. We have three speakers from South Africa and one from United Kingdom. On August 30, 2021, the topic is Meeting the Challenges of the New Normal in School Education. We have two speakers, both from Philippines. And on August 31, 2021, the theme is Young Leaders Changing the World. Two speakers from South Africa, one from United Kingdom, and one from Vietnam. On September 21, 2021, the topic is Redefining Education. Both speakers are from India. Okay, so please take note of this code once again. And dear knowledge seeker, I would love to thank you all from my deep heart for attending today's session. Hopefully, you learned something new and you will implement it in your life. Please leave a review on our page if you learned something or we help you a little bit. Don't forget to collect e-certificates and obviously give a check in with IGP. Please spread the information with your friends and we hope to see you all again on the next webinar. Stay happy and stay safe. Once again, I am your host for tonight's webinar, Angelica C. Sugitan, signing off. Bye.